we have done some research, and we're very confident that we're a victim of naked shorting of our stock. We are doing more research, and we're going to take specific action related to that. Now, everybody knows there's short selling that occurs in stocks, and typically you borrow shares, and within 2 days you've got to return those shares back. Naked shorting is where you never return the shares back, and in actual fact, there's shares that are manufactured out of nowhere. It's electronic. It happens electronically. So there's a group called Save Canadian Mining, and their website is savecanadianmining.com. Terry Lynch is the guy that runs that, and he has several founders and sponsors of that website, and it's all about stopping this naked shorting because it's illegal. Basically, it's illegal, although the authorities in Canada say that it's not happening. They just think that, no, we've checked, it's not happening, but it is. And people that are helping Terry with the cause, Eric Sprott, Sean Roosen, Rob McEwen, and you've got some key industry figures there that have recognized that this is a problem. Now, this doesn't just happen to microcap junior resource companies. It happens to all sorts of companies listed in Canada and also listed in the US. So I just want to say that that's not an excuse, but it's something that's been happening.
No, I'm aware of it. No, and thanks for bringing it to our attention. We actually have a couple of companies suffering from the same thing at the moment, which we talk to on a regular basis. But when you're saying that Terry Lynch is going to do something about it, what can he do if no one's recognizing that as a thing?
It's through examples like ours where we've got investigators looking at the trading patterns behind the scenes of our stock. He is going to lobby groups like IROC and the CSA, Canadian Securities Association. He's going to lobby those guys, and he's going to put, credible case forward and expose that this is going on, right? And it's all about stopping it. It's not about stopping shorting of stocks. I mean, that's a normal thing that happens as part of business. It's been around for donkey's years. It's all about stopping the naked shorting, right? So I think, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that now.
Let's not. But it's a great topic.
I wanted to put that out there. I think people who don't understand what I've just been talking about should go to the website.
We will, and we will investigate it for our audience. But let's get back to you.
So let's go back. Yeah. Let's go backwards. So water.
We'll start with the business plan. Can you start with the business plan?
The original business plan. Sorry, Matt. The original business plan for this asset, which was prepared by Atacama Pacific, which was the previous owner, was to build a big project. And when I say a big project, I'm talking about 80,000 tons a day of water pad, spending about $400 million on capex, and producing about 230,000 ounces of gold a year. So that all sounds fine. It's ultimately doable. We've spent, the last 20 months. That's how long we've owned this asset. We've looked at it, and yes, that's doable. But we didn't want to start there because $400 million. Our market value today is $80 million. So we can't afford $400 million. I mean, it's a fact of life. So we've scaled the project right down to a point where we can get it off the ground. And the other thing we've done is we've focused on reducing the capex to the lowest possible amount and also accelerating the project as quickly as we can. Now, to achieve that, one of the key things that we did from a water perspective is we decided, let's forget about the traditional way of applying for water rights, going through that permitting process and pulling water from the ground. That typically takes, from the time you apply for rights to getting permitted water, takes in Chile somewhere between, well, on average about 5 years, right? We can't wait. We've got a high metal gold price right now. We just can't wait. So we said to ourselves, what can we do to get this project up and running? And we picked a startup production rate of 20,000 tonnes a day. And we said, that will work. That'll get us to a run rate of about 100,000, 90,000, 100,000 ounces a year. But we'll bring that water up from the nearest regional centre, Copiapó, which is 140 kilometres away, by truck. And it works, right? Some people have thought about that and gone, hell. And one thing people should know is we've got a new corporate presentation on our website. It's got a couple of new slides that elaborates a little bit more on water. People have gone, oh shit, so is this like a pipeline of trucks? You know, they just can see this stream of trucks going up the road. No, it's a truck every 20 minutes that leaves the town of Copiapó that goes up there. It's a 30-ton tanker, like a fuel tanker. So it's easily doable. Secondly, people have said, well, you're going to truck from Copiapó through there. When you go through Copiapó and there's traffic and there's problems, what are you going to do about that? And in the new presentation, you'll see we show a couple of routes that we can take either through town or around town. So I think it's an elegant solution for a complex problem. Not a problem, I guess, a complex process. And what it does is it gets us started and gets us to production. What are we doing today? We're actually talking to people that have water rights in and around where we operate, because at some point we are going to stop using trucks, because we want to use trucks for the shortest possible time that we can, and then dovetail into another solution and a bigger solution where we can expand this project.
Right, so tell me, yeah, it does answer the question. In fact, you've stolen a lot of my questions from me, but it's a great answer. Can you tell me what you've done around understanding the economics for the short-term water solution, i.e. the trucking solution? Do you understand those yet? Have you done a full some kind of study on that?
Yeah, we've done from grassroots. We've built up a costing of what it will cost to truck the water from Copiapó to the project. And I can tell you now, and it's in the PFS that's filed on CEDAR, it's $14 a tonne, around $14, okay. A few cents more. So it's in there. Our ASIC that we showed in the PFS was $1,000. It's all baked into that. So okay. It's all there.
So that's a firm number. Okay, I get it. I also get the fact that you want to start, and the chances of funding a $400 million project versus a $100 million capex project is very, very different. Even in a high, bull gold market. So, can you just give me some sort of sense of the timing of all of this? Because again, if I'm just looking at the share price, you forget the dip of the last month or so. Everyone's experienced that. You're back up to where you were, which has been a pretty steady state for about the last year or year and a half. You've got to start driving that, and I think that can only come if you regain the faith of the market. So now you've got your PFS. You've fully costed the water component, and it's a elegant solution which allows you to start sooner. What next? What are you doing next? Do you need to go and find the money? What's happening?
Yeah, well, let's go back to the money side. If we were looking to fund this company in the short term, I would be worried. The good thing is, and once again, it's in the updated presentation. We finished the year last year with working capital of about 16 million Canadian dollars. That we have said, and we have actually said in a couple of press releases, because we put out a couple of press releases, which we'll talk about in the last couple of weeks, that we have enough funding to take us through to the end of Q2 next year. Mm-hmm. So even though the share price is a problem right now, it's something that we think as time progresses, we'll be able to work upon and get that value up. In regards to where are we at, we just filed, our latest press release was about our filing of the EIA for the project. That is a milestone for us. We had to start from scratch. When we took on this project, didn't even have an environmental baseline study done. So we completed that baseline study in January of this year. We prepared an environmental impact assessment study, which we filed with the Chilean authorities last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So how long is that going to take? We with our consultants and our understanding of the complexity of our study, which is very simple in relative terms, because we have a leach project, we have no tailings, we're pulling no water from the ground. It's a very simple process. So we're guiding 12 to 14 months for the appraisal and the approval of the EIA, which will be end of Q2 next year. And during the EIA process, we'll be applying for certain permits. After the EIA is approved, we'll be finalising permitting, and we expect to receive our construction permit in about October of next year, which will then push us into construction. That's really good because that's the start of the summer season, so we get to enjoy good weather for the commencement of construction. How do we get to that point? Because we filed the EIA, we have started our finance process. We are talking to financiers right now. We're gauging interest in financing this project, and I can tell you quite confidently we're not going to have a problem to finance this project. So during this year, hopefully before the end of the year, sometime in the second half of the year, we'll be able to come back to the market and say, this is our financial plan. My focus, because of what we're going through with the low valuation right now and the low share price, my focus is on leveraging the company up as much as I can and as sensibly as I can, based on the fact that interest rates are the lowest they've ever been. The gold price is nearly as high as it's ever been. And we should be in a position where we can capitalize on that.